Well, hi everybody. Good morning. To meteorologist Travis Klineski here on this Tuesday morning. A couple of features worth noting here. We've got a surface trough marked with that black dashed line right there. That's shifting our winds from more of a southwest wind to more of a west and northwest wind. And then we've got a cold front up here in northern Nebraska that's diving southward. That front will shift our winds more northerly, but despite its name, there's not really any cold air with it. In fact, it's going to be a lot milder today. But we've actually got two cold fronts that will impact us over the next 24 hours. So there's the first one coming through this morning. The second one is off to our north later today. North winds, that will be a little breezy. They'll start to die down late this afternoon. Probably later today, the strongest winds right in there. But again, still going to be a very mild day for today. Here comes the second front. We'll see a little bit of an increase in clouds. The skies become partly cloudy, and winds will turn northeasterly behind that second front. That's going to begin to draw in some cooler air from that north and northeast direction. So we're going to feel a little cooler for your day on Wednesday. Continues to be partly cloudy for much of the area for your day on Wednesday with those breezy winds out of the east and the northeast, even more southeasterly here in the west. So you can kind of see clockwise rotation. I believe there's going to be a high pressure kind of above the arrow here up in the Dakotas. So you have clockwise rotation around that high. Draw that in there. So hopefully that kind of gives you an idea of what it will look like wind-wise anyway. As we get towards tomorrow night, we will be looking at winds shifting more southeasterly and even southerly. As we get towards Thursday morning, I will also show you, going back real quick, that very limited moisture right there. Some very, very, very light rain or sprinkles that may even lead to a little bit of a mix of moisture. It's not going to be much. I wouldn't be too concerned about that. I'm not expecting slick conditions or anything like that. It will be below freezing, but it's just going to be a very limited amount of moisture. So the concern is not really there for anything that could cause impacts to our weather and to our things like driving conditions and stuff like that. But temperatures for today topping out in the 60s. Even some lower 70s over southwest portions of Nebraska. Nice mild conditions out there for today. Tonight, we'll dip back into the mid to upper 20s up north, so we're starting to feel that colder air coming southward, low and mid 30s elsewhere. Looking ahead to tomorrow, it'll be a cooler day, and you'll notice it more the farther north and east that you go. Highs in the 40s here, close to 50 in the Tri-Cities. 50s and even near 60 degrees in the far south and west here, 60 in McCook, 61 in Scotts Bluff. So a little bit better here, even though that is also going to be cooler than today. That's not as big of a drop. As we look forward to tomorrow night and to Thursday morning, lows in the 20s and lower 30s. That's a little chillier. Thursday itself, we actually start to warm back up into the 50s and 60s, even some 70s, low 70s out west. Upper 50s for the Tri-Cities. So not too bad of a Thursday before the next shot of cooler air starts to come in on Friday and more so even into Saturday. In fact, let's check out the long-range forecast. So today, warmer, tomorrow cooler, warming back up a little bit on Thursday. There's that minimal moisture early Thursday morning. I'm not too concerned about this. And then some light rain, a slight chance of light rain Thursday night into Friday morning. I don't think we'll see much with that. Friday, a few degrees cooler, but you'll notice a bigger drop on Saturday. So we've got moisture developing late Friday night into Saturday morning. Initially, most of this is going to be snow Saturday morning, with it being colder. I mean, we have a low of 25 there. Cold enough, it should be mainly snow. But as we go through the day Saturday, it may warm up enough for some to see rain. The farther south you go, the better chance you have of seeing that warm up enough to see rain. The farther north you go, it's likely that you're probably going to see all day snow on Saturday. We'll show you a couple of the models in just a little bit. But as we continue to probably warm up Saturday night and into Sunday, it becomes more and more rain than anything. So most of our day Sunday should be mostly rain for the area, maybe even some cracks of thunder, especially the farther south and southeast you go. A slightly warmer day, a little on the windy side. But then as we get on the back side of that system, we'll transition back over to snow, and it could be a wind-driven snow. It could be a very wet snow. And again, the biggest question right now with this Monday is how long does it last? Some models have it lasting through Monday night. Others have it wrapping up during the day on Monday. Could the heavier snow be right over top of parts of our area? Will it be more to our east, more to our northeast, more to our southeast? That's still kind of what's the big question mark right now. But it looks like at least some snow for our area is going to be a possibility. Once we get past that, it does look like once that system moves out, we'll start to warm up, although kind of struggling a little bit for a few days with snow if there's snow on the ground, but eventually maybe getting a little bit better as we get towards next Wednesday or Thursday there. Let's look at the North Platte forecast. The biggest difference is it's going to be even warmer today, or especially Thursday. right in there. Friday, we start to cool down, and then we get that moisture. And again, I think North Platte could see that snow maybe change to rain on Saturday if it warms up enough. And then Sunday, it looks like rain that could transition back over to snow either late in the day or by Sunday evening, and that continues into Monday morning. Although at this point, the snow chances may not be as much. I think North Platte would have a lower chance of picking up more snow than the Tri-Cities would see here. After that drop in temperatures on Monday, then we'll start to warm back up as we get towards next week. By next Thursday, we're back up into the mid and upper 50s there. So let's look at some of the long-range models. I'm going to show you the European model first. Let's back this up here. So again, not much the next few days. I mentioned the minimal chance of moisture early Thursday morning. The slight chance of light rain Thursday night and Friday morning. Right now, northeast Nebraska has the best chance of seeing that. Then our eyes turn towards the weekend. There's Saturday morning. Here comes what would be mostly snow. Maybe rain in our far south, but then as it warms up during the day, we'll get more areas that start to see rain, but again, focused more towards the south than the north. And then as we continue to warm up Saturday night into Sunday, we see more rain than anything on Sunday. But then here comes the colder air on the backside of that system. Already Sunday morning in the northwest, Sunday afternoon, and then eventually you could see more snow Sunday night into Monday morning. Right now, this model is focusing on the better chances of snow over the eastern and southeastern parts of the area with lower amounts of snow to the northwest. Notice, I'll back this up here. Notice there's not as much snow over the northwest compared to the east and southeast. And then this model has the snow wrapping up by early Tuesday morning, clearing on out. We're pretty quiet after that. Most of the next few systems next week look to miss us right now, and we'll eventually start to warm things up. GFS is a little bit different. Let's go through the GFS here. Here comes the early morning Thursday moisture. It's very limited. This model doesn't have much of anything, in fact, Thursday morning, so it's just a small chance anyway. Thursday night into Friday morning, there's that slight chance of light rain, focusing the better chances in the northeast. Then we turn our attention to Sunday morning there, or Saturday morning. Most of us, if we see moisture early Saturday morning, it would be snow. But then as temperatures try to warm up, some of that transitions to rain, more so in the west and the southwest. The GFS isn't as aggressive with the warm up on Saturday, so it doesn't have as much of the way of a change over to moisture, or to liquid moisture, until we get towards Sunday morning. And then during the day Sunday, there's the rain, maybe some thunder in the east or southeast. And then here comes on the colder side of that system snow. But I believe the GFS is not as aggressive with the snow for our area. Mostly focused south and southeast of the area, and also northeast of the area. And has kind of drier air for most of us. So this would mean not as much snow for most of us before it clears on out. We'll see if we get any more systems after that. It's a long ways out. This model doesn't have much for us. So we'll see. It's a long ways out yet. Let's look at the long-range temperature trends. Here's the European model, again mild today. Here comes the colder air tomorrow. Warming back up a little bit on Thursday. Cooling down a little bit Friday, and more so for Saturday. There's the colder air on Saturday. Warms up a little bit on Sunday on the front side of the system, but then that colder air coming in on the back side of the system Monday. Then we start to warm back up gradually next week, and it looks like by the end of next week we'll get a lot better once again. Let's look at the GFS now. Mild today, and then we'll cool off again tomorrow. Warming back up a little bit on Thursday. Friday coming down a little bit, and then a bigger drop in temperatures on Saturday. Then it tries to sneak back up a little bit on Sunday, but not much before the colder air on Monday comes in. And then as we go through next week, it gradually starts to warm up a little bit, although, and there it is right there, maybe by the end of next week, we see that milder air start to really build in. The graphic was slow to load in this stuff, so let's back up. Here's Tuesday of next week. Again, we're starting off kind of cold, but eventually Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we start to warm up maybe a little bit here later on next week. It looks like the GFS is a little more aggressive with that warm up than the European model is. So there still are a lot of questions in the long range, including the amounts of precipitation. Will there be snow impacts? Saturday, Monday would be the 2 days with the best chances of that, but especially Monday, there's still a lot up in the air with Monday with how much of an impact we could see. But right now, it looks like it's trending towards southern and eastern areas having the bigger impacts and lower impacts the farther northwest you go on Monday of next week. We'll see how that plays out here. But that, and of course, if we get snow on the ground, that could determine how long it takes to warm up next week until we can melt off that snow. Melts off pretty quickly this time of the year, but if anything, again, the key thing, good moisture on the way. We always could use that moisture, especially in this part of the country this time of the year when it's been so dry recently. We could certainly use the moisture. Well, thank you all for watching on this Tuesday morning. I hope it's a good one for you. I will be back with you on Wednesday with my final forecast of the week. I hope it's a good day for you here on Tuesday, and we'll see you in spring. We'll see you spring officially crossing over to spring at 10:06 this evening. I'll see you then. Talk to you later. Bye.